Alright, we're back with another Slay the Spire run. Today we're going to try to ascend a little further with the Necrobinder. The Necrobinder we currently have at Ascension level 5, so we're gonna start with a curse in our deck. Yeah, the Necrobinder's gimmick, of course, being Osti, a little skeleton hand that we try to build up. Yeah, let's just see how far we can get on this Ascension 5 run. Our options for the first relic here, the Stone Humidifier. Whenever you rest at a rest site, raise your max HP by 5. I'm not very excited about that. Ideally, we want to forge as much as possible. The lead paperweight, one of two colorless cards to add to our deck. Colorless cards are very good. Just in general, there are some very powerful options. That being said, the Leafy Poultice. Getting rid of some strikes and defense early on. Yeah, we lose max HP, which isn't ideal, especially for the Necrobinder, where some of the strategies involve inflicting doom on yourself. I think it's still the best option here. And getting rid of some strikes and defense early on for potentially powerful cards is definitely going to be the play here. So let's hope we get something good. Oof. Well, the Reaper form, obviously, we're not going to be able to play that early on. I'm not happy to pick that up right now. The Cleanse is okay. We might actually use that to just exhaust the Reaper form. Use it as kind of a bad defend that also just gets rid of this dead card. Potentially, we can also get rid of the Ascender's Bane. Good if we survive the early game, but we'll definitely make the early game a little tougher than usual. All right, let's see which way we want to take through the underdogs. We have a lot of fights here. Unfortunately, all of these paths are just awful. Gonna hit our fourth fight here. Or here. Or here. Which is way earlier than we would like. We'll see how that pans out. We could hit a shop here, remove another one. Although, since we already removed 2 of our cards, we're not as pressed for removing more of these cards right now. So, I guess we're looking at the right-hand side then. So we could hit a Campfire here, take on an Elite, go here. That would always force us into at least 2 Elite fights, and then a lot of other fights. Ugh, that's a little rough. I really don't want to take 5 battles and then another couple. That is, wow. All of this is pretty bad. So maybe we're supposed to do something like this. That is so many fights. So it would be that or that. One way or another, the left side is probably our best bet. A truly lousy map, honestly. But we'll make the best of it. Alright, this thing is gonna hit us for 8. That means we can actually just summon 3 for the Cleanse, get rid of the Reaper form that we're never gonna play, block for 5, strike it, and then not take any damage here. Just some damage on Osti. We're gonna be hit for 11. So with Bodyguard and Defend, once again, we're not gonna take any damage, and we can do a big hit for 13. And here, we can just unleash Strike. And that's that. Drain Power, definitely a good option to pick up early game. A good attack that also makes it so that the cards in our discard pile are more useful. Debilitate Not currently interested in that because we have no way of inflicting vulnerable and weak. Pull aggro, just a bit expensive right now. Fine defensive card, but I think drain power is just going to be better early on. Going into our second fight. We're going to have to defend for 7 here, so I think we're going to just defend and bodyguard. And then we're going to use drain power to upgrade both of those, which will be useful. Gonna hit this one. We're going to take a total of 10 here. Unfortunately, we drew into all of our bad cards. No real reason to do any of this. I mean, we could summon 3. That would mean that we only take 1 damage. We get rid of 1 of our defense. We only have 3 defense left in the deck. Yeah, I guess that is what we're gonna do. Not very excited about it, but we want to conserve our health once again because we have some rough fights ahead of us. We can kill this one, take a little bit of damage this turn. Can deal 10 here. Can cleanse. If we kill it, we are going to take 1 point of damage. That seems fine. We're only going to upgrade this strike. But that is fine. And here we can just strike, unleash, and end it. Dredge, put 3 cards from a discard pile into your hand. Exhaust, generally useful to get back something like souls if we get them later, or other 0-cost cards. Pull aggro. A little worried that we will never have the energy to do that. Heals us for a total of 11, so it's just a very strong defend. Upgrades into 5 and 9, which is not super exciting. The dredge, at least we can exhaust. Right now it's bad. So maybe we should go for the pull aggro. Just for some survivability. What we really need is something to inflict doom, maybe. Okay, now we already have a decision to make. If we go this way, we can delay some of the combats. We'll have way fewer things to fight. And I'm not really comfortable fighting too many elites early on after all of these fights. I think we're gonna hit... Do we want to hit the shop? Maybe we are actually going to take on 3 fights right now. Followed by a rest site. And then get into the elite fight. No. That is absurd. Let's just see what we can get here. Oh, we definitely want a Grave Warden. That is delightful. Again, we're not super keen on removing cards right now because we already removed the strike and the defend from our deck. And then maybe it'll just be Haunt to have a setup for Soul. And then let's see what we get here for our third fight. The Sea Punk. We are once again going to cleanse. We are gonna get rid of our Reaper form. And then we're gonna defend and defend. Here we're gonna do Grave Warden, Bodyguard, and Unleash. We have a Haunt and a Soul, that's nice, so we're just gonna Haunt. Gonna Soul. Then we are going to Unleash again, Drain Power, and that's it. Capture Spirit, I think, is what we are interested in. Yeah, we're not interested in Melancholy. Pull from below. We don't really have any ethereal cards right now, so we're just gonna go Capture Spirit, just generally a useful card to have. Now we're gonna enter into a more difficult combat with the Haunted Ship. Here, do we want to set up the Reaper form? What are the alternatives? The alternatives would be Grave Warden, Haunt, and Strike. I think we're just gonna set up the Reaper form and say go. We're gonna get 5 dazes into our discard pile, so we're definitely interested in ending this fight reasonably early. We are going to Bodyguard. Do we want to cleanse anything here? No. We're gonna defend and we're gonna unleash, dealing Doom. Doom meaning at the end of the enemy turn, if the enemy has less health than the amount of Doom on it, it will die. So basically the enemy has half HP because we're gonna deal a lot of damage just with regular attacks on it. We're gonna defend, and we are gonna Capture Spirit here. Okay, we have a lot of souls. They're not doing much right now, but we can draw into something better. And they will help us just draw past our days. And also, we draw into our Haunt, so that means we can just play our souls, dealing some damage in the process. We're going to be hit for 10 this turn. So if we Bodyguard and defend, that would mean we're not taking any damage, but we're also not really advancing. So maybe it's okay to take just a little bit of damage this turn. So we are just gonna Bodyguard here. And then we're gonna drain power. No, we might as well unleash. And that will mean that we take a small hit here of 4, but the Haunted Ship is going under. Another power potion. I think we'd rather have that than the Radiant Tincture. Okay. We definitely want to Defy. Gain block, apply weak. Very useful. We definitely want one of those in the deck. Here we're going to upgrade a card. What are our options here? The Defy, just gaining more block. That's okay. The Cleanse can summon 5, so an extra 2. Maybe we're just gonna go for the Pull Aggro, just to make that into a viable option right now. Everything else is already pretty good. The Pull Aggro gaining us 14 total defenses. It's not the best card. It's probably the worst card in my deck right now, and that's why I want to kind of bring it up to snuff with the rest. Alright, let's see what event we get here. This or that? We can choose this or that. I'm a little more inclined to take this because we can... Or, I'm a little more inclined to take that. Because, of course, we have our Cleanse, which makes it a little easier to get rid of, like, curses and stuff. And maybe we do want the random relic over 52 gold. But we're also going to enter a shop. And I think getting 52 gold to enter a shop is probably better right now. So we are taking this. And here... What are our options? We don't want an Afterlife. We don't want to Sleight of Flesh. No Escape is pretty good to actually deal some damage, which is what we're missing right now. So maybe No Escape is what we want here. We would definitely want a different source of Doom as well, because No Escape works best if you have other sources of Doom. But for now, that's what we're going to go for. And next act, we're definitely going to want to go for some card removal. Right now, since we already got rid of a Strike and a Defend, Even if it's just for Reaper form, that's gonna be fine. Now we have a choice to make. I think with our 2 power potions, we will be able to take on 2 elites. So I'm going to take the left route. We can take a rest in between if it's getting a little dicey. And let's see what relic we get here. Bronze Scales, very unexciting. But if we get like into combat with a multi-hit elite, that can actually deal a good amount of damage. Historically, I have talked about these relics in the treasure chests, said that they're really good for our build, and then just skipped. I will make extra sure to pick everything up in the future. I've been burned too many times. I will make sure to click these and then start talking about them. So yeah, Bronze Scales, it's fine. Can be good situationally, and it's just like small amounts of damage. The Terror Eel, that could be a little dicey. We're definitely going to use a power potion here. Neurosurge is good. However, I think we're going to go Sentry mode because that every turn gives us a 10 damage attack. That'll just make it so much quicker to deal with this. So we're going to take the Sentry mode. I'm going to play the Sentry mode. Hitting us for 16 this turn, that means we can Grave Warden. And then we probably want to cleanse our Reaper form. And play Capture Spirit, I think. Just to improve our draws quite significantly. So yeah, we're going to cleanse. We're going to get rid of the Reaper form. And then we will Capture Spirit. Taking a small hit here. Okay, we're gonna take 9 this turn. We can block that fairly handily. We're just gonna go sweeping. We're gonna go bodyguard. Gonna go defend, and we're gonna strike. Gonna be it for 22. We can apply some weak. That's gonna be useful. We're always gonna sweeping gaze. Can we bring this enemy to 70 this turn? I don't think so. We're still gonna soul because we want to draw into some defensive option. Yeah, we're gonna haunt. Draw some more cards and draw some more cards. Pull aggro is actually perfect here. 14. It's not gonna block the whole thing. Our Defy is gonna Etherealize. Maybe actually Defy and Defend will be the better option here. How much damage can I deal? I can only deal a total of 15. That's not quite enough to bring it under the 70. Wait, I can deal 10... 19. Okay, actually, we can stun the enemy this turn. Bringing it down to... yeah. Do we want to upgrade anything in here? Yeah, I think these are probably all worth upgrading more than the Unleash. So we're gonna drain power. And then we're gonna Unleash. And now the enemy is stunned and we don't have to worry about any of our blocking this turn. Here, since we upgrade our Bodyguard, I think we're just gonna do Bodyguard. Means we can Unleash. Sweeping Gaze. And then I think maybe just no escape. Next turn we're not going to be able to do a lot of damage, so next turn we're probably mostly trying to block whatever is coming. For that purpose, maybe we want to actually cleanse here, and then get rid of one of our strikes. Just a little bit of extra health on Osti. And since we're vulnerable now, we're always going to take a big chunk of damage. So we're going to Sweeping Gaze. Defend, Capture Spirit would mean we have a total of 25. We're going to take a little bit of damage then. But we're never going to be able to kill this eel. So we're always going to defend. And I think we're going to Capture Spirit, because the Capture Spirit will then put some souls into our deck that we can use to haunt the Terror Eel next turn. and most likely kill it. So yeah, we're gonna take 8 here. That's okay, and then we're just gonna go Grave Warden, Soul, 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 and Soul. And that's that. The Nunchaku, not very exciting for us. I think we are not really doing a lot of attacking. We're mostly skills and powers and a couple of small attacks. Every now and then we'll gain an energy. Rattle. Asti deals 7 damage, hits an additional time for each other time he has attacked this turn. Not really interesting. Reap, a very low opportunity cost because we can retain it. Reeve, deal 9 damage, add a soul into our draw pile. I think maybe we're gonna take the Reeve. Adding souls into our draw pile is fine. This is one of the worst versions of that effect. If we upgrade it ever, we can add a soul plus into our draw pile. That's useful. So we're gonna take that. We're going to take a safety rest here, going up to 44. And then go ahead and take on this elite. The Skulking Colony can only take 15 damage each turn. That's a little annoying. So we're gonna not play too aggressively. We're just gonna pull aggro, block all of the incoming damage, do drain power, and that's it. Do I want to play a power potion? I don't think right now. I think maybe we use this as a little panic button, since we can always find a Neurosurge. So we'll just see how this goes without it. Okay, here we can defy for sure. Now we only have 10 incoming damage. I think we once again will cleanse out this Reaper form. And then we're gonna deal 13 to it. Hitting us for 9 this turn. That's just one Grave Warden. And then I think we're going to go... It has 10 blocks, so there's no use trying to deal too much damage to it. We're just gonna Reeve and play No Escape. Okay, we're gonna be hit for 18 this turn, but we can actually... Well, we can't do that much damage to it just on account of the hardened shell. So... no need to overdo it here, but we do want the haunt. And I guess, yeah, I guess we're always gonna do this. And then hopefully we can draw into our Grave Warden to block most of his damage. We're gonna waste some damage here. Alternatively, yeah, I could just take a hit here. We can rest before the final boss. I will use the power potion actually. Yeah, none of this is very exciting right now, so we're just gonna play the domain. And then we'll just see if we can't draw into... Okay, we can... This is actually good. The Defy is a very, very good pick up here. So we're gonna take barely any damage at all, and all of these can now just go into our pile. Okay, here I think we are simply going to pull aggro, block all of the incoming damage, and then unleash for 12 or drain power for 10. Now we're just gonna try to finish it next turn. So yeah. Oh, I can actually do another attack, and I should, because that will just mean it's gonna die. Well, gonna die next turn. We can't quite get it over the threshold. So we just have to block one more attack and deal a little bit of damage here. We can block... Well, we can block some of it, not all of it. It is what it is. We're still gonna take a 6... Oh wait, we can just kill it. I am silly. There we go. Upgrade to random attacks. If we hit some of these down here, that's fine. If we hit our strikes, we're gonna be a little sad. First, we're gonna see if we can add a card to our deck. Putrefy, very good. Apply to weak, apply to vulnerable. Happy to pick that up. Scourge is okay. Scourge can be part of an infinite combo. Borrowed Time. Oh, they have changed this quite a bit. So you gain 4, but cards cost an additional this energy this turn. Oof, that's a lot of math. I don't think that's good because it'll mess with all of our souls. I think we're gonna pick up the Putrefy potentially. Applying some weak and vulnerable will just help us with surviving. Scourge, maybe I'll take the Scourge actually. We can already use Defy to apply weak. Vulnerable is not that useful, and the Scourge will just help us finish combats by continuously applying Doom and cycling through our deck just a little bit. So we're gonna pick up the Scourge, gonna pick up the Whetstone. Yeah, we got the Reeve, we got a Strike. That's okay, now they're at least viable cards to play. Alright, 2 more events. Hopefully, nope, oh, nope, we got some rats. Two-tailed rats, we're gonna be hit for 14. We can pull aggro, take care of all of that. And then we can maybe just Scourge one of them. Scourge for 13. Okay. These ones are gonna hit us. Take 3 from the thorns. Unfortunately, this is not quite enough to kill one outright. If I gain 8 block, I'll take some damage. Okay, we're going to Scourge 13 this rat. And then we're gonna pull aggro and just say go. Here, we're always gonna play Defy and Bodyguard, and that means we can unleash on someone. So let's Bodyguard, can unleash for 13. Alternatively, that's 19. This rat will die in 2 turns. It's gonna deal 3 to us. Okay, it's gonna take 3. And then next turn, it's probably gonna do a debuff, and then just die from the Doom. So we should unleash on something else. So we are just gonna apply weak to this rat. Gonna take some damage once again, and then we're gonna unleash here. Okay, oh, it's already dying this turn because first it does the thorns and then the thing triggers. This rat is trying to resummon another rat. We should not allow that. So we are going to have to drain power this one. And then we're gonna defend and cleanse. Yeah. Do we want this upgraded or this? Not really. So we're gonna do this. Gonna cleanse. We're gonna get rid of this defend because we wanna kill this rat next turn, and then we're gonna block. Block most of the incoming damage. And now we just kill it with Reeve and strike. Happy to pick up another Grave Warden here. Right hand. Aussie deals 4 damage whenever you play a card that costs 2 or more. Return this to your hand from your discard pile. Obviously that works reasonably well with pull aggro, but I don't really see any reason to do that. Grave Warden is just gonna help us survive. Yeah. Sad to have picked up another hallway fight here and taken some damage, but at least the Grave Warden is a good reward. Waterlogged Scriptorium. Navigating the murky passages, you stumble upon a withered figure working a small shop. The multitude of shelves are stuffed full of damp scrolls and parchment. Noticing a patron has entered, the scribe shopkeeper snaps to attention and gestures at some implements arranged on a desk. You can take the Bloody Ink to gain some max HP. we can pay 55 gold to enchant a card with Steady, which gives it Retain, or 99 to enchant 2 cards with Steady. And I think that's what we're going to go for. Steady is very powerful. Giving a card Steady just means that anything that's like more expensive, like pull aggro, more situational, we'll just be able to keep in our hand to use when we need it. So if an enemy is not attacking, we really don't want to play pull aggro, but we're also very sad to throw it away. So we're gonna give pull aggro, retain, and then what else? What else? Reperform is of course always an option, so that we can find an opportune time to play it. We can't do it on the Defy because Retain does not work with Ethereal. I guess we're just gonna do the Reperform. Maybe that will give us an opportunity every now and then to actually use it. The scribe grabs a prickly sponge. It squeaks and dabs it across your scrolls. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The prickly texture leaves behind shimmering marks that seem to stabilize the ink. And then here we're gonna upgrade something. Probably one of the Grave Wardens, maybe. Oh, Scourge actually drawing 2 cards is wonderful. Let's go for that. Okay. Feeling somewhat confident here. I'm a little sad we don't have any potions for. But that's okay. We have a good setup here. We can capture Spirit. We can Grave Warden for some more souls. And then we can Drain Power, upgrade both of those. So that is nice. The Waterfall Giant does fairly basic, just attacky stuff, but then when it is killed, it will explode for however big the Steam Eruption value is. So you have one more turn to then try to defend yourself. That means we have to be relatively quick in taking care of that. We can pull aggro this turn. That's actually fine. And I suppose then we can also Reave, because we're not going to take any damage. Shuffling some souls in. These souls can all happily go to my discard pile, so that when we draw into the Haunt, we have a good supply of souls to just go through. Alright, it's gonna hit for 10 this turn, so we can do that with the Grave Warden. Most of that will be blocked. Well, all of that will be blocked. Unfortunately, Osti will die. And then we're gonna play the Haunt. And I think it's a good idea to start applying some Doom. It's gonna heal this turn. Nothing we can do about that. The only thing we can do here is Scourge it. Sadly, I could try to draw into my Reaper form now, actually. I have a soul, I have a couple more souls. Chances are very good that we draw into it, and I think that's probably worth it. Well, so much for that. We're not gonna get our Reaper form online, unfortunately. Honestly, I should have cleansed one of these defends. That was just not smart of me. So here we are just gonna, we definitely want to keep the Defy in the deck, so we're gonna play it and we're gonna strike. And then next turn we're going to get the Reaper form. Unfortunately, we're gonna take 20, so we're just gonna retain it. Maybe there'll be another opportunity. Here we are just gonna Scourge it again. And then we're gonna pull aggro, take a little bit of damage. Alright, do we want to cleanse something? Yes, we definitely want to cleanse this Strike out of the deck. Gonna play Soul. And then we can Grave Warden and Bodyguard. Have to hurry up a little bit because the Steam Eruption is definitely not gonna be small when it happens. Okay, we can put a lot of souls into the deck right now, which we can then start cycling through. So, yeah, we're gonna take a hit here. We're gonna capture Spirit. Gonna Reeve, and then we're gonna play some souls. How many do we want to play? We probably want to do this. Only take a small amount of damage. Next turn we're gonna get 2 souls, unleash, no escape. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go Defy now. And put all of these back into our deck for a later turn. Here we're probably gonna be applying a little more Doom, and then we're just gonna draw some cards. Put more of these into my deck. What do we want to draw into? Probably nothing, because the Grave Warden will give us enough to take care of everything. So we're just gonna put more souls into the deck. Yeah. There's really no way of killing this Waterfall Giant that much quicker. Sad that we couldn't set up the Reaper form earlier. Do we do it now? Is that still worth? Or is it better to just cycle through and try to kill it with all the souls that we have? That is probably better, honestly. Because we can apply more Doom. Could cleanse this strike. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's see how much we can do here. We have to play a card now, an actual card, and then we're actually gonna stop drawing our... Yeah, so we're gonna take another turn here. Yeah, we'll just have to be able to block a lot of damage, so we're probably gonna start stacking up some health on Osti here. Maybe the Reaper form was the better call here. A lot of damage now, 25. So maybe Defy and pull aggro is the way to go. Not gonna take any damage here. Yeah, this is getting a little dicey, I have to say. We have a lot of souls. We have the Grave Warden to not take damage here, so we're gonna Grave Warden. Gonna no escape. Okay, and it's actually gonna die this turn. What does that mean for us? Probably that we just want to pass, because what we need is to block a little bit of damage. So pull aggro and Grave Warden are probably the things that we want. Potentially a Defy. So I think we're just going to Reeve. Add that Soul Plus into our draw pile, which would allow us probably to defend more than we would be able to with a regular defend. So let's hope for the best. We're never gonna die here, but we want to take as little damage as possible. So pull aggro, and then we're just gonna play all the souls until we find something. Doesn't really matter, we're just gonna play all of them. I don't know if we can still apply weak to it. I don't think so. It just deals 45 damage. So we might as well take our strongest block card and use that. And that would be Grave Warden. 34, so we're gonna take 9. That's okay. Oh, we have... Oh no! Well, fuck me. I thought it was gonna explode right then. Well, I guess we'll have to do that again. Fuck. Okay, we got the same thing. It does not actually matter. Actually, we're gonna take even less than we would have the previous turn. Definitely should have paid more attention there. So we're gonna pull aggro. We're gonna Grave Warden, and now we block 37. We're gonna take 8. That is perfectly acceptable. Let's see here. Soulstorm. Now that, I think, might be a good finisher for us. Deal 9 damage, deals 2 additional damage for each soul in your exhaust pile. We're gonna make a lot of souls. We have the Grave Wardens, we have the Capture Spirit, we have the Reeve. We already do the Haunt stuff, so yeah, I think the Soulstorm is the way to go. And if we do manage to set up Reaper form at some point beforehand, this is just gonna probably deal a good amount of damage and also apply Doom. So, happy to have that. Now here we are in Act 2. Let's see what relic we can get here. Try this! Thank you, Orobaz. We can enchant a skill with Imbue. This card is played automatically at the start of each combat. Okay. We can replace the Bound Phylactery with Phylactery Unbound. At the start of each combat, summon 5. At the start of your turn, summon 2. Good for just general survivability. Re-rolling card rewards, I don't think I'm that interested in. So it's either the Electric Shrimp, let's have a look at our skills in a second, or the Touch of Orobaz. What skills do we have? Playing Pull Aggro at the start of each combat. Do we think that is worth? Oh, we can't actually enchant it because we have already enchanted it with Steady. That is something to keep in mind. We can only enchant skills that are unenchanted. That would leave us with Scourge. Apply 16 Doom, draw 2 cards at the start of each combat. Is that better than summon 5 and summon 2? I think it might be. We start each combat with 2 additional cards. Yeah, I think we might just go enchant our Scourge. Alternatively, of course, we can enchant Capture Spirit and start our deck with 3 souls in our draw pile. Which one is better? What if we upgrade this? 4. I think it's probably going to be better to have 2 cards available early on for just general setup stuff. So let's do that. Pling plong. Okay. Now let's chart a course through the hive. We do want to hit a shop at some point. We want to... Oh gods, once again, look at this shit. Hallway fights. Hallway fights. I think if we go to the left... So, we kind of want to avoid... Let's clear this. On all of these paths, we would have a stronger fight no matter where we go. So... Yeah, there's... precious little we can do about that. So that is not going to be a consideration. We do want to hit a shop. There's one here. We're only going to have 1 elite fight if we hit this shop. But maybe that's okay. Maybe we can have a chill little run through this act. Just do something like this. Do a lot of card upgrades, maybe take some rests here and there. This won't put a lot of new cards into our deck, most likely, but I also don't think we need that many more cards in our deck. We're kind of all set. We're very happy to simply upgrade, probably, all of our Grave Wardens, because we're always going to try to play those. Maybe the Capture Spirit, maybe the Haunt if we want to make it go a little faster. The nice thing is we never need to upgrade the Reaper form because with the Steady, we've basically upgraded it already. So, yeah. I suppose we're gonna go to the left because otherwise we're always gonna be facing way too many enemies. This path has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies in a row. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an elite potentially. So yeah, we're just gonna go to the left. Only do 3 fights and then chill for a good long while. The tunneler, probably reasonably easy to deal with. Unfortunately, didn't draw into any of our strong defensive cards. So I suppose we're just gonna take as little damage as we can. We're gonna defend. We're gonna capture spirit. And we're gonna drain power. Taking 7 here. Not great, but sometimes it is like that. No need to pull aggro, but we can retain it for the next turn, which is nice. So this turn, we can cleanse away the strike. And then just strike and play Soul Storm. Just deal some damage here. Goodbye, strike. Hitting us for 23 this turn, but we can just pull aggro. We have 19 and Etheria Defy. That's fine. Another hit for 23, but we can deal a bunch of damage with some souls. So we're just gonna haunt. Play soul. Play another soul. We're not gonna deal enough to get it out of its thing, but that's okay. Oh, they actually lose HP. It goes straight through. So it's currently at 41. Let's see. We can apply 15. How much doom can we apply? 5 doom for every 10 doom already on this enemy. So we're gonna apply 15 doom, going up to 31, and then we would need to deal 10 more damage. So we could kill it with Scourge and no escape, but then we would take a bunch of damage. I don't think I want to do that right now. We're at least gonna mitigate the damage a little bit. 17, and then we are going to play, we can probably play the Scourge, right? 16 is more than 15. Okay. And then we can pull aggro, make it lose some health. Do we have more souls in the deck? Yes, if we draw another soul, then we are peachy. So we could just pull aggro, capture Spirit Soul. We're gonna take a little bit more damage that way. How much is it? 15? Another 8? Ugh, so much damage. Can we be safer? We need to draw 2 souls. If we exhaust a card, chances are still pretty bad that we draw into the other soul. We could get the Defy. That would be helpful. 15 and 2 for each soul in our exhaust pile. That's 1, 2, 3. So that's plus 6. That's 21. That's not enough to break the block, unfortunately. So our best option is to defend. That'll put us to 23 exactly, so that's fine. And then I can defy, play soul, and then just Grave Warden. And Grave Warden, block all the incoming damage, and then it'll die to the Doom. So yeah, this Reaper form, very rarely worth using. Potion of Doom, we like to pick that up just to accelerate things a little. Also works very well with where is it? The no escape. Page Storm. Whenever you draw an ethereal card, draw a card. That would be the Ascender's Bane. That's kind of nice. And the Defy. I mean, it does cost 0, very low opportunity cost. Maybe we're just gonna take it. We might pick up 1 or 2 more. All right, we're gonna go to the left, hoping that we do not run into another hallway fight. Oof, it's Wongos. Okay, we're gonna unfortunately have to spend all of our money here on Wongo's bargain bin. Welcome to Wongos. We have what you want at Wongtastic prices, says the least enthusiastic clerk you've ever met. Peruse our wares and enjoy your time at Wongos, they continue, without even looking up. Yeah, we're just gonna find something in Wongo's bargain bin. We don't want to downgrade a card. Well, the lantern is actually great, so we're happy to pick that up. We are Wongo wowed by your generosity, wonderful patron. You now have 64 Wongo points. With just 1,936 more points, you will receive our exclusive Wongo Customer Appreciation Badge. Have a Wongtastic day. You have no clue what they are talking about and vow to never return to a Wongos. I think that's sensible. Aha. The Thieving Hopper. Can we defend enough this turn? No, we drew trash, sadly. Do I upgrade everything and then at least I can defend properly? Yeah, maybe I do that. I don't really want to take too many hits. We're probably gonna have to rest at one of these rest sites. Yeah, we're just gonna upgrade these. Defend and defend. And then we're just gonna drain power and Soulstorm and strike. Right, we have the Nunchaku. I keep forgetting that we have that. We do not want it to run away with our capture spirit. We could haunt Gravewarden, or we could reperform, and next turn probably do something with our Reaves and Unleashes. Alternatively, that's 9 and 15 damage. We only need to deal 20 more damage, so we'll probably fine just strike Gravewarden and let's see, 21. Unleash. Yeah, not from this. Unless we get like... Yeah, we need to block next turn, so... I think we just want to get some souls in here. Alright, 21. We can always play the Page Storm. We'll definitely play the Defy. We can cleanse the Defend. We're gonna Reave. And that's it. We're gonna take 4 damage here. This one's gonna take 3. It's gonna escape in 2 turns. I do not have Haunt active. I can apply 15 Doom to it. That's enough to kill it. So really all we need to do is do that. And probably just pull aggro for 14. Yeah. And there we are. I'm gonna take this card back and then see what else we got. We could get another pull aggro. I'm not enthusiastic about a second one of those. So I think Grave Blast, deal 4 damage, put a card from your discard pile into your hand. I don't see that being very useful. Poke. We don't have the card draw right now to make a poke remotely worth it. Alright. One more fight. This one's going to be a little more difficult. Ah, yes. The Obscura. Could be rough, but we'll see what we can do here. What's the best thing we can do to set this up? We're gonna Page Storm. We are going to capture Spirit. I am going to no escape. I'm gonna drain power, upgrading both of those. And then, do we want to cleanse? Yeah, we want to cleanse. And we are gonna cleanse the Strike from our deck. Alright. Summoning the Paraphrite. Yeah, we'll have to see if we want to take care of that or if we can focus on the Obscura. However, it is going to buff its strength every turn. So that is not ideal. I think we're just going to Grave Warden. Grave Warden. And we're going to Soul. And we are going to strike the Paraphrite. Block all the incoming damage. Hopefully we can kill it this turn. Yeah, Soulstorm will kill it. That's good. That means we can also defy the Obscura, and we can get the Haunt out. Yeah, gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. Take no damage this turn. This thing will be resummoned every turn. Do we want to play any souls? We'll have a soul next turn. We'll have pull aggro to block incoming damage. And we do have enough damage to kill the Paraphrite. So I think we're just gonna chill here. Coming back with 21. But we could simply Reave and Unleash. And then we just have to see what we can do about the Obscura. But that'll put a Soul Plus into our draw pile. So that should be fine. So we're gonna do this. And then the Grave Warden will block all of our damage here. Do I want to play the Soul Plus? There's nothing specific that we really need to draw next turn. We have the pull aggro in hand in case this thing comes back and we can't deal with it. So maybe we're actually just going to cycle through some of the souls now. Well, 2 of the souls to be exact. That's okay. Alright. Once again, we can deal with it fairly handily with the Soulstorm and the Unleash. Or just the Soulstorm actually is enough. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 souls in here now, so we can just kill it. And then do the whole thing over again. So we're going to Soulstorm. Oh, okay, it's a total, I see, it's the total damage that is given there. It is not added after the fact. I should have played the soul first then. We're gonna do that now. Sadly, we missed the attack here, so we have to unleash. And then we are going to play No Escape. We're at 61, so 13 more. Can I deal enough damage right now? No, I cannot. I don't think we need the Potion of Doom. Could have probably finagled it here in some way that we would have been able to do it this turn, but instead we're just gonna do it next turn, honestly. I'm sure we're fine here. Are we fine here? Let's play Soul. Let's play another Soul. We can deal 10, 16. Ugh, okay. Yeah, this is a little annoying now. Because we are now going to take quite the hit here. The Obscura. Can we kill the Paraphrite? Is there any way? If we Scourge, we could draw into Soulstorm. That would kill the Paraphrite, and then we would only take the hit from the Obscura, and it would die through the Thorns and then the Doom. Defend. Pull aggro defend would give us a total of 9, 14, 19, 23. That is actually better than killing it. If we have 23 block or 23 total defense, then we are going to take 11, and that would kill the Obscura after the fact. So I think the best thing we can actually do here is simply pull aggro and defend. That was not well played by me. We could have taken probably we didn't need to take this 11 damage hit. Potion of Doom would have been an option, but it is what it is. Oh, we got another Potion of Doom. That'll definitely speed up a kill. Okay, negative pulse. We definitely want one negative pulse in the deck, and since it's already upgraded, I think that's just perfect. We'll speed up combat significantly. Definitely a good thing to have here. All right, we're gonna definitely go this way, and we're probably gonna take a rest here. We don't really need a lot of upgrades right now. We're kind of okay. Infested automaton. There's a chamber filled with dead robots. A lone automaton still has a faintly glowing core, but it's engulfed by a grotesque organic growth and doesn't respond. We can study it to obtain a random power, or we can touch the core to obtain a random zero-cost card. Zero-cost cards I don't think are all that exciting. Let's obtain a random power instead. This is actually good. Shroud, whenever you apply Doom, gain 2 block. We're gonna apply a good amount of Doom, I would say. By studying the glowing automaton and how its inner workings are laid out, you realize that specific metals in their arrangements resist various ailments. You apply this technology to yourself. This is the defect. Another character. Sad. We have a fight, and it's kind of a bad one. We're probably going to be using some potions of doom this combat, but for now we're just going to page storm. We can negative pulse to apply some more doom. We can cleanse, we can bodyguard, we can drain power. So we're gonna... we should probably haunt, honestly. Which means we are not going to bodyguard. We're just gonna cleanse, get rid of a strike. Then we're gonna drain power. And we're gonna play negative pulse. 27 doom. Yeah, we're probably gonna be using one of those potions. We have one more turn where we don't have to worry about these eggs. But we're also not going to be dealing any kind of damage. We can do pull aggro into unleash. Deal a good amount of damage to this thing. Not take any damage on the backswing. But then we really have to see what we can do about those eggs. Alternatively, I could just kill it right now with a double potion of doom. Maybe that is actually a good thing to do, because we are almost guaranteed taking a bunch of damage next turn, because we do not have the block to deal with all of these hatching eggs. So, oh, it's actually not enough. It's just 93. Oh, wait, actually, no, it's only gonna deal 6. So, yeah, not enough. So we're just gonna have to tank a hit. A pretty small hit, honestly. 4, 4, and 4. But that being said, I think we're still gonna do this. Can we deal 36 damage? 11? No, no way. So we're just gonna do this. Now, hitting us will mean that it will have the will be under the doom threshold and die, so all we have to do is block some damage. And for that we can kill one of them. No, we cannot kill any of them. We're just going to apply weak to one of them, or this one, doesn't really matter. Now it's a total of 12, 17. Yeah, we're not going to take any damage here. So yeah. A bit of a shame about the potions, but that's okay. Poke, countdown, and putrefy. The countdown is interesting. The putrefy is also interesting. I'll pick up one countdown. Yeah, we're just gonna have to set up all of our powers so that the doom ticks down. We gain block every time that happens. Here we're gonna rest. And now we have options. We can go to the left. We're kind of low on gold once again, so I don't think hitting the shop is going to be very useful for us. So maybe it's just this right here. Do a lot of events. I don't think we want to take on 2 elites. We're not powerful enough for that. So I think we're going to go to the right, take on some events, do an elite, and do a regular battle, and then finish this act. Yeah, we're not super powerful, but maybe it will all come together in the last couple of rooms. The reptile trinket. Whenever you use a potion, gain 3 strength this turn. Useless, unfortunately. Spirit grafter. Above, a cocoon is shaking and wriggling, about to burst forth. It stops wriggling. The cocoon ignites. What is going on? In a flash of light and flame, a spirit grafter rushes into you, threatening to merge with your being to become complete. Do we want to put a Metamorphosis into our deck and heal for the rest of our HP, or lose HP? And we can't really afford that. We're just gonna heal. I've never played with Metamorphosis. I don't think it's very good. But our deck is kind of small. Maybe we can just draw straight past it, and maybe there'll be a time where we can actually cast it. We never want to upgrade it. 5 random attacks into our draw pile. That sounds just awful. So yeah, we're not gonna take on that elite. We're in a field of man-sized holes. The sudden sight of a massive field gouged with large outlines of bodies stops you in your tracks. One of these outlines matches your own. It's perfect. We can resist, remove 2 cards from our deck and add normality to our deck. Not being able to play more than 3 cards this turn will be an issue. However, we can fairly reliably cleanse this card, probably. And removing 2 cards from our deck, just getting rid of these strikes, will definitely be helpful. Alternatively, Perfect Fit, whenever this would be shuffled into your draw pile, place it on the top instead. So whenever we do a shuffle, we could basically tutor up 1 card. I don't think we need any specific card right now, so we're gonna try to resist. And we are gonna remove the 2 strikes. And now we really have to be careful with the normality. You walk past all the holes, even the one carved perfectly in your shape. Why didn't I go inside? What would have happened? Have I been in that hole before? Who made these holes? What is... who... where? Indeed. And we rolled into another combat. Not happy about that. Here's our Metamorphosis. We have a negative pulse. That's pretty good because these are fairly squishy. That will also give us a bunch of blocks. So we're gonna go Shroud. Negative pulse, gaining a lot of block because there's 4 of these here. This exoskeleton will also die at the end of turn. Right now we are taking a little bit of damage, but we can defend right through that. And then we can also Soulstorm one of these. And then this one will take 9 and will die. And this one will also die, so I think we're kind of good here. Okay, these 2 are just gonna buff, so we can just do some of this, and do some of this, and do some of this. And then all we need to do is... okay, here's our normality. Gotta be careful with that normality. We really want to make sure to rid ourselves of it. Do we want another drain power? Not really. We don't really need a death march. Yeah, now we're just gonna skip here. And now we're going to fight an elite. We're probably going to get the energy from the nunchaku, so I should keep that at least in mind. Hate to see that. Decimillipede. Terrifying, frankly. We do want to cleanse this turn because we want to get rid of the normality in the deck. We definitely want to negative pulse, block some of the damage, add some doom here. And then we could probably pull aggro 10, 16, 24 coming in with pull aggro. It's going to be a total of, let's see, 15 plus 9, 24. So that is excellent. Rip Osti. But not taking any damage here is definitely a good thing. Here we are going to take some damage, but we are going to apply weak to this one. So it's just going to be dealing 10. We're going to Grave Warden with 14, 15, 10, 18, 24 again. So if we Bodyguard, we're going to take only minimal damage here. The good thing is here really the Thorns are very useful because they just deal a little bit of chip damage, especially to the multi-attacking one. Now, unfortunately, the hits are getting a little much. Can't kill any of them straight up. We should play a soul. We've played a single soul, unfortunately. 6 doom to a random enemy is not going to do that much. This is going to deal 8 damage. Yeah, this is all very rough now. We're going to take one massive hit. We can't trigger the nunchaku this turn, but we can at least no escape this one, so it'll die. And then just drain power and Soulstorm here. Yeah, we're gonna take a lot of damage here. Very, very unfortunate draw. Not a single block. Yeah, that's just gonna decimate us. Can we deal damage here? Barely. Barely, unfortunately. And we can also barely block anything. Yeah, this went very, very poorly. Unfortunately, this one will come back with no doom on it. Yeah, we might just die here. Sad, but that is just how it is. The Decimillipede. Just an awful, awful thing. Can Grave Warden here, block some of the incoming damage. We need to block another 8. We can defy this one. And then we are going to take 1. No, we're not going to take anything. So we can Reave. We Reave this one. No, we should Reave this one. Oh, and the nunchaku triggered. I said I should keep an eye on that. And then I didn't. We're not going to be able to kill all of them next turn. I think this is already a little doomed. Yeah, there's just too much incoming damage. I'll just have to Hail Mary this. Metamorphosis. Play a soul. Hopefully draw into some attacks that just randomly kill all of them. But that's just not gonna happen with these, unfortunately. Yeah, I didn't draw into any of them. Yeah, we can negative pulse, and then unfortunately, we're gonna die. That is very unfortunate. I was already doing all the trying to do all the safe things, but then, yeah, we just were not equipped to deal with the Decimillipede. I feel like this enemy is a little much. If you're in the right strategy, you have absolutely no problem dealing with them. But then something like this happens, where you just can't quite keep up. They deal a lot of damage. They all have a big HP pool. They regenerate very quickly. I think that enemy specifically might need a small overhaul potentially. Whether that is that they regenerate with less health or maybe take another turn to regenerate or something like that. I feel like some strategies just have a very, very hard time dealing with the Decimillipede. Doesn't mean I didn't make any mistakes this game. I think probably, once again, I picked up too much stuff. The countdown and the shroud, I think we probably could have just skipped ahead because they don't do anything the turn you get them. And this is probably something to keep in mind. You want to draw into your powerful blocks. You want to be able to get them fairly consistently. And probably our deck kind of got worse as we picked up these cards here. The Page Storm, the Shroud, and the Countdown. Keeping it a little tighter, being able to cycle through it faster with the Souls probably would have been better than that. So yeah, sad to lose this deck because I think it was fairly promising and I think we could have made a lot of progress with this. But the Decimillipede is just uniquely difficult for a deck like this that has no way of dealing any kind of AoE damage and also has no real way of dealing direct damage, working mostly through the Doom. If we'd kept the potions, we might have had a shot. We would definitely have had a shot then. So yeah. Just a bit of a bad confluence of events. Not the least of which being having to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hallway fights on the way, 2 of which were just randomly generated. So yeah, definitely just a bit of a bad one. Oh well. Better luck next time. Thank you so much for watching. Share, like, subscribe, all of that. And yeah, see you next time in the Spire.